Good afternoon, folks. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. Welcome to episode 4 of The Road to Glory. However, no longer with Dunston. It will now be Taunton Town. I've got to be very, very honest. Since I've started Soccerverse, I've hardly put the platform down. I'm addicted to it. I think this game is fantastic. And I genuinely believe it is the most complete football game that I have ever seen. And this is why I am so confident long term about the success of this game. So, if you've watched from episode 1, you will know that my dream was to take a tier 10 club in English football, which was Dunston, all the way to hopefully the Premier League. Now, that is still the aim with Dunston. A good friend of mine is going to run the club for me or manage it. I've still got all my influence in the club. Nothing changes other than the manager. However, having doing far more research over the last few days, maybe a week, I was looking through my fixtures, results, etc., and I stumbled across Taunton Town, who are in the same league as Dunston, and you can see on screen they beat Dunston 2-0. So after that game, I was just having a quick look through of all the teams in this division. Now, Taunton Town stood out like an absolute sore thumb. And I say that, which I will show you in a minute, but their club or their squad of players is crazy for this level of football. So I had a little brainstorm, call it what you will, and I thought this journey of me trying to take a tier 10 English Football League club to as high as possible, hopefully the Premier League, it would be far easier doing it with a team that have certain advantages that Dunstan didn't have. So, firstly, I contacted Andy G, who's the CEO of Soccerverse, and I wanted assurances from him that if I was to invest what I would class as a heavy investment, and this will be continued to be invested into in terms of the influence on a weekly basis, I wanted to ensure what I would class as glitches would not be rectified later on, and then that advantage that I believe I'm having now would be taken away. Because ultimately, I didn't want to invest heavily in a club in the 10th tier again if the advantages that I believe I had were going to be taken away. So theoretically, I would be investing in a club exactly like Dunstan. So I didn't obviously want to do that because I don't want two tier 10 clubs that have just got no attraction to them. So Andy gave me assurances, and his explanation to me was that there's certain clubs in the lower pyramids of all over the world on this game, but there will be clubs with certain advantages. And the example he gave me was like there could be a tier 10 club in England that has a bigger fan base, which would then lead into higher attendances, which means that that club would generate more daily or weekly income, match day income. And he said there will be other clubs that will have advantages. Now, I'm going to show you what I explained to him. I'm just going to go into the current squad of Taunton, sort it by rating. Now, as you can see, there's 6 players that are rated 70 or higher. You might even recognise some of these players, the names, especially if you follow English football like I do. And I said to Andy, how is this possible? Firstly, that these players are at this club, because if you go onto the transfer history, these haven't been brought in by the managers that have gone previously. As you can see, there's only been 2 transfers and they've both been income-ins, but none of them are those 70 plus rated players. Now, we couldn't actually explain how these specific players got into the club. However, I hope he's a man of his word, because he's told me that this would not be altered going forward, and he classed this as not a glitch that would need to be rectified. So I know I'm starting with a huge advantage in terms of my long-term goal of getting a team from this level as high as possible. This club, in my opinion, as we stand today, the squad is as good as a League One club, if not better. So it's my belief in what I'm trying to aim to do on the game. It's going to be far easier doing it with a club like Taunton than it would have been trying to do it with Dunston, purely because of the players that I have available at this moment in time. And I'm hoping that I can gain back to back promotions for at least 4 or 5 seasons on the bounce. But that will depend on the amount of new players joining the game, etc., because they will obviously start improving their squads. But as we stand right now, I would be confident that this squad would get to at least Conference League Two level without much trouble. So, there in a nutshell is why I've decided to do what I've done. I'm open and honest in every video I make. My sole purpose with any game that I play, where crypto or even non crypto games, I want to play these games to try and earn money in real life. Having fun, sure, but my main objective is to make money. And I believe with the advantages that I have been given at Taunton, I believe that that makes this job easier to make money with than it would have been at Dunston or for any other tier 10 club in England for that matter. I've appointed myself as manager because for some reason there was an inactive manager at Taunton. Um, so I don't want anyone thinking that I've done the dirty on another manager because that's simply not the case. You will see Division 10, the league that they're in, and you can see Taunton obviously are running away with the league because their squad is far superior than any other team. I'm currently awaiting to become unlocked so I can make transfers in and out because the only setback from having a squad like this at this level is financially it's not sustainable. If I show you the finances, 733 grand in the bank at this moment in time. But if you look at the overview of the incoming and the outgoing over the season, it's losing 1.8 million quid, which again, obviously is not sustainable. So I'm going to have to look at certain players that I could possibly get rid of. And I know they're going to command a good fee because of the way the prices are. So that's something I need to address immediately as soon as I'm unlocked, because in my vision on how I want to take this club, it's not just getting the team up the divisions as quickly as possible, which is what I want to do, but also I need to run this club financially sound. I don't want him going into debt, etc., because I obviously want to try and entice potential investors coming in and investing along the way. So obviously the share price is going up. And that's why I've bought a bulk of shares now, because I believe what I'm paying for them now, they're going to be worth a lot more if I can achieve what I'm intending on doing. Like I said, I'm also going to make a weekly commitment investment to buy more shares. Currently, I own 4.82% of the current shares that are out there available. I think the maximum at this moment in time is 30% of any club on Soccerverse. So my aim going over the next few months is to try and get as much influence as I possibly can afford to. And then the hope long term is I can get this club up and higher up in the leagues, so the gate receipts go higher, TV revenue, etc., cup runs, which will then give me more SVC as a passive income on a game week basis. Now, I genuinely believe that this strategy that I have taken, or I'm going to be taking forward now with Taunton Town, that is an if, the game has to be successful. But like I've already said, I'm pretty confident because it's the most complete game or football game that I've ever come across. And as long as this game continues to grow, I have got no doubt whatsoever that this strategy that I've employed now will work financially long term. Now, This is not a quick rich sort of scheme because each season takes 6 months. So to get Taunton from level 10 to level 1 in English football would take a minimum of 5 years anyway. But I have absolutely no doubt in my mind in 3 to 5 years, the share price will be a lot higher than what I'm paying for it right now. Like I said, my good mate is going to be running Dunston or managing it for me. So the plan with Dunston that I had is still ongoing. It's obviously going to be far more difficult than trying to do it with Taunton, but I believe with the football knowledge that I have and the contacts I have in the English game, especially in the lower leagues, in terms of scouting these young kids coming through, then hopefully we can start trying to improve both clubs and to make it far more cheaper than the current wages of some of these players are ridiculous at this level, and why it's not sustainable. So if we can get younger lads in who are not known to anyone at this moment in time, who are going to potentially be good prospects in the future, that's the way I'm looking to run both clubs, to be honest. So that's about it, really, guys. I just wanted to let you know because someone did contact me on the in-game messaging service asking me why I'd left Dunston. So I explained to him that I'd be making a video to try and explain why. So that's it, basically. So hopefully the next time I see you, I will have sorted the club's finances, so it's on a better understanding of where we are with the club. It cannot be running at a loss of like nearly 2 million quid a season. So hopefully I'll have rectified that somewhat. And that's it, really, guys. Really appreciate you watching. I know it's gone on a bit longer, but I just needed to explain why. And I'll see you very soon. Thanks.